dear friends, my beautiful disruptors, my closest inner circle.
We could all use a moment of normalcy, and so you are cordially invited
for a long weekend on my private island.
Where we will celebrate the bonds that connect us, and I hope your puzzle-solving skills are whetted.
because you will also be competing to solve the mystery
Of my murder. Travel details to come. Please forward any dietary restrictions. Love and all my kisses, Miles.
Ma, where's my spear gun? I gotta pack. Babe, get packed.
What's that?
I don't know.
Hello.
Ryan Johnson.
Hello.
Who
In the
did
flesh.
it? He's a killer.
It would be very funny if I just told you right now. I'm gonna tell you. That's why you watch the movie. You have to watch the movie to find out.
We love it. But could you please tell us about the plot? But please no spoil because the writer and producer himself personally briefed us not to give any spoilers.
I'm very good at not giving spoilers. You're in good hands, I promise. Glass Onion it's the follow-up to Knives Out, and it's the same detective, Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, but he's solving a whole new mystery with a whole new cast of characters. In this one, it's all about a tech billionaire, Miles Braun, who invites all of his friends to a private Greek island for a murder mystery game. And Benoit Blanc is invited as well. Everybody shows up to the islands, and things go very, very badly. And that's kind of how the whole thing starts. So it's a murder mystery in the same way that Knives Out was a murder mystery.
Okay. And why is it a glass onion?
So there's a couple of reasons why. I mean, I wanted to find something that was a sort of a metaphor that Blanc could talk about, where it seems complicated, but everything is in plain sight in the center. But also, I'm just a big fan of the Beatles, and there's a Beatles song called Glass Onion, which is a fantastic song, and the lyrics kind of have something to do with the plot of the movie. I won't say too much more, but so once I realized, I can name it after one of my favorite Beatles songs, that's a good idea.
The cast is amazing. It's like an all-stars game. Kate Hudson, Catherine Hahn, Madeline Klein.
Daniel Craig, Edward Norton, Daniel Craig, and also sorry.
No, this one, yeah.
A lot of other surprise appearances. What inspired you to do a show like this?
I love actors. I mean, for me, I just love work. I love getting to know actors and meeting new actors and working with them. So to be able to do a series where with every movie, I'm going to get to work with a new group, like who you just talked about. I get to be on set and watch Catherine Hahn and Kate Hudson and Leslie Odom Jr. and Daniel Craig, watch them kind of like bounce off of each other. It's the best job in the world. And so I'm just like, I want to do this every few years just so I can work with a new group of amazing actors. You know, it's pretty amazing.
Bizim filmde oynatır mı sence?
No way.
Oh,
What's that?
How do you imagine your working process?
I love you guys. You guys are the best.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye.
Lionel, you are too sexy to be a scientist. And Claire, you look so cute.
Aw, thanks, Bird.
You really try. I like that. You really make an effort.
Well, I figured Greece.
And no mask, I can breathe again. Look at this pool. I think I'll go for a swim. Maybe I'll lay out for a bit.
Well, this is fabulous
Timmy.
double date. I love this double date. Yes.
Or
Nice. Love dating, actually. Let's
Catherine,
start.
Catherine ve Kate ve Turkish ve English and. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Sorry.
What just happened?
I think they're gonna say
Okay, got it.
Yes, yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Could you please tell us about the character you play?
Yes, Catherine first. I'll start.
Yeah.
I'm Catherine, and I play. I feel like I'm auditioning. I hope I get it.
Yeah.
I play Claire.
Bayağı beni trollüyor şu anda.
I play Claire DeBella in Glass Onion, and she's the governor of Connecticut, and she's running for senator. That's it, on a platform for climate change.
Yes.
Nice.
I am Kate. I'm 5'7" as well. And I play Birdie. I play with Birdie J. She's a fashionista, very uncensored fashionista, finds herself always in some kind of hot water. And she's loud, very loud and very opulent.
Okay. The show is playing with our perception of reality. How would you define reality for yourself?
What's your reality?
What's my reality?
What is my
What is
reality?
my reality? Wait, what? As it pertains to what?
When everything falls apart, how do you hold on to yourself, or what's your reality? What do you stick on?
Okay, great.
Family.
Yes.
I would say for me, it's my family and my dearest friends. That is what is my most grounding. Also, which has been a very huge help, is the older I get, the more I need to breathe and to remember to take deep breaths and to ground myself in just, my breath.
I'm gonna say psychedelics.
Yeah, I love
No,
that
I'm just,
too.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
Oh, I was not joking.
What grounds me? Tripping my head off. Is that weird? I'm just kidding.
Yes.
So, no, I'm gonna say family as well.
Yeah.
But there's also been times where I have felt, as strong as my family unit is, I have had to rely on myself. And how can I ground? How can I feel like grounded individually? I think what that is for me, that like grounding thing, you said breathing, and I think that's an extension for me. I the same thing. It's movement.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it be and my creative outlets. I find that
Thank
my
you, time out. We love you.
Oh no, we love you.
Let's hang out next
Shall
time.
see you later.
Those party.
Yeah.
That is the common thread here. Every single one of you is holding on for dear life to Miles Brine's golden titties. And each of you, you'll stab a friend in the back to hold on. That is what I believe.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
So let's start.
Okay. One questions. Will you please tell us about the character you play?
Yes, so I play a tech entrepreneur named Andy. And Andy is a leader, she's a gatherer, she has big ideas, she really wants to use her power for good. And she has a very complicated relationship with the friend circle who gets invited to Miles Bron, who's played by Edward Norton, his private island. And she gets invited to this murder mystery party, and things get a little wild, a little weird.
And what was the process like drawing the character, working them out?
You know, my character is very mysterious as well, very enigmatic, and I had so much fun. I got an opportunity to really play and to show range as an actor, because not only, you know, do we have those like mysterious moments where you are trying to understand, you know, Andy, but also there's comedy in Andy. There's the drama, there's the deep emotional well that I had to pull from. And so being able to like show that range as an actor is a dream. And I'm so thankful to Rian Johnson for trusting me with this role.
And which character traits do you have in common with your role?
I think there are a lot of layers to peel back on Andy and a lot of layers to peel back on me, you know? I surprise myself. Just when I think I have me figured out, I don't.
What was the most challenging thing about the shootings?
Oh, well, first of all, being in Greece was like a dream location. I mean, no, Greece was so bad. The food, the weather, the ocean. Oh my God. That was the most terrible thing. No, it was like incredible. But it was very hot. And we had some exterior shots where, you know, the sun would be just like blazing. And then we had the lights that the production had to bring in, so everything felt even. So like a combination of lights upon lights with sunlight, like that, I think was like, it got to me a little bit. Yeah. But we made it through and we got the shot.
So you were really in Greece on an island.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, how blessed, how lucky, right? How just like, you know, I was sitting on, when months before I was just sitting on my couch, you know, praying for an opportunity like this to come, eating potato chips and in my sweatpants. So to be able to go to Greece and be with this cast, that was amazing. Like everybody's amazing as actors, but even better as human beings, you know, from Catherine to Kate to Leslie, you know, to Edward, and then the Daniel Craig, you know, being able to work with him. The whole cast is just, you know, we're friends for life now. Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Because tonight, in this very room, a murder will be committed. My murder. You will have to closely observe the crime. Consider what you know about each other. Know that across the island, I've hidden clues. Some may be helpful, some may misdirect. That's for you to determine. But if anyone can name the killer, tell me how they achieved the murder, and most importantly, what was the motive, that person wins our game.
Oh, okay, let's start with much time actually. Yeah. What would you say is the message of Glass Onion?
See, this is something that Ryan, I believe, said best. I think the movie better speaks for itself. The messages in the movie. I think rather than us explain it, I think people should just go see the movie and make up their own mind. Yeah, instead of imposing our opinions on anyone, I think it's best left for audiences to experience once or twice or maybe 5 times.
Okay, and what was the most challenging thing during the shootings?
Oh God, trying not to laugh every time Catherine Hahn was on set. She is one of the funniest actresses. She could be standing still and she will find a way to make it funny. I don't know how. I when I grow up, I want to be like her. I want to be like Catherine. When I grow up, I want to be Catherine Hahn.
Okay, and which film of your childhood shaped you? How and why?
Which film of our childhood changed us?
Shaped you.
Shaped us. Shaped us.
Because you were talking about growing up, so I think it was
okay. The Shawshank Redemption made me not want to go to prison.
What about you, babe?
I'm gonna be honest, I watched The Devil Wears Prada maybe like 50 times.
And what did you take away from it?
I wanted to be in movies like that.
Oh, that's fair.
I wanted to do like a rom-com dramedy. I loved that movie so much. I also watched Almost Famous a ton of times. Like I will never get tired of that movie.
What is the matter with Jared Leto?
Jared Leto?
Yeah.
Yes, because he's appearing frequently in the film.
I mean, I can't wait to meet Jared Leto and ask him how he ended up in this film.
Yeah, you know.
And I want to know if he's seen the film. What does he think about the film?
Yeah, you know,
I wish he'd come to the premiere.
I know. It is quite funny. But yeah, I don't know.
I think he needs to take inspiration from the movie and start a kombucha company.
He does. It's just so funny because I could see that happening, but I feel like he's an honorary cast member at this point.
No, so thank you. Thank you. Time out, my
Thank you.